Welcome to lecture series on signals and systems. In continuation to our discussion on LTI system, in previously we have seen representation of any discrete time signal as a impulse response signal. Okay, and we saw even convolution sum, that is the representation of any discrete time signal in terms of scaled and shifted unit impulse responses. Okay, and we solved some of the problems on convolution sum, that is of finite sequence convolution and infinite sequence convolution. Okay, and we will see in continuation to that continuous time signal actually. Okay, so similar to the discrete time signal, even the continuous time signal can also be represented in the scaled and shifted unit impulse function. Okay, so and even we can have the convolution of two continuous time signal, and here they used to call the convolution of a continuous time signal as convolution integral. Okay, so before getting into the convolution integral, we will see the representation of any continuous time signal in terms of impulse response. Okay, so previously we have discussed about this representation. Here I will just quote the representation only. A continuous time signal can be represented as a linear combination of scaled and shifted unit impulse functions. Okay, so any signal, any continuous time signal can be represented in terms of impulse signal. Okay, so that representation would be x of t. If you say this is the continuous time signal, okay, it can be represented as integration over minus infinity to infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. Okay, so tau here is the unit of t. Okay, unit of t only. So in this fashion we can represent any continuous time signal. Okay, so it is very much similar to the representation of any dt signal in terms of unit impulse signal. Okay, so we will discuss now the convolution integral. So consider an LTI system as shown here. This is an LTI system, continuous time LTI system actually. Okay, for this, if the input is x of t, okay, continuous time input signal, and it produces the output y of t, so we can write y of t is equal to t of x of t. Here t stands for some time related operations on input signal x of t. Okay, so similarly, if for this continuous time LTI system, if delta t, this is the unit impulse signal, okay, unit impulse signal, if this is the input, and what will be our output corresponding, we have discussed this one with respect to the discrete time here, that is the representation as h of t. This is the unit impulse response. Okay, so simply this is the notation. H of t is the unit impulse response, that is the output of the LTI system for the input delta t. So here this can also be represented as t of delta t. Okay, similar to this, and here also some time related operations will be performed on the input signal delta t to get h of t. Okay, so in that sense, if you consider a system output is given by y of t is equal to some time related operations on x of t, and here the continuous time signal x of t is represented in terms of unit impulse function. I have considered this as equation number 1, so I can substitute that equation number 1 in this. So we will get y of t is equal to t of summation minus infinity to infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. Okay, now if we change the integrity and the time related operations, that is this integration term minus infinity to infinity x of tau is coming outside, and time related operations is performed on the unit impulse signal. So this we can perform because of the linearity, because whatever the system that I am considering is a LTI system, it is linear in nature. Okay, then so this representation, this is y of t is summation minus infinity to infinity x of tau t of delta t minus tau d tau. This term is nothing but the h of t comma tau. Okay, so if you could remember the properties on time related operations in the first unit, so we can write this h of t minus tau is nothing but the output of the system for the input t minus delta tau. So that I can write here. Consider this is an system, LTI system. Okay, for this LTI system, if the input is t minus tau and it produces the output h of t comma tau. Okay, so this is the response of a LTI system for the input t minus tau. Okay, so this nothing but h of t minus tau. Here I can write here. So that is y of t is equal to summation integral minus infinity to infinity x of tau h of t minus tau. Instead of this h of t comma tau, I can write h of t minus tau d tau. How can I write this one? Because for the time invariant system, here we are considering it's an LTI system, so it is linear in nature, also it is time invariant. Okay, so time invariant system. So because of this, what will happen? We know that output due to delayed input by the t unit, whatever it is like tau or t unit, will produce the same amount of delay in the output. Okay, so suppose that's why it is h of t comma tau is nothing but h of t minus tau. It's simply delta of t minus tau input to the LTI system will produce h of t minus tau. Please go through the properties of the system which we have discussed in the previous unit. So this will help you in that regard. Okay, so this is the representation. So what is the final expression for us? Y of t is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of tau h of t minus tau d tau. So this I will call it as equation number 2, and this whatever the equation number 2 is there is the convolution integral or simply convolution. Okay, so in both the continuous time signal as well as the discrete time signal, the convolution is same, but the representation is same, the convolution equations are just different. Okay, so please remember that here also convolution integral is represented as y of t is equal to x of t asterisk, you can say h of t. Similarly in discrete time also we can write y of n is equal to x of n asterisk h of n, that is the convolution. Okay, similar to the properties in the discrete time convolution sum, whatever we have seen, here also we have some properties in the convolution integral. That is, the first one is commutative law, commutative property. So what it says, the convolution between x1 of t and x2 of t is same as convolution between x2 of t and x1 of t. Okay, so I will not elaborate here. This is the thing that you can solve by yourself, or the proof of this is left to study for you. Okay, so you can carry out that. If you find any difficulty in understanding or proving these things, you can put the message to me so that I can cover that. Okay, and the second property is the distributive property. So wherein it says the convolution between x1 of t and x2 of t plus x3 of t, okay, will lead to the x1 of t convolution x2 of t plus x1 of t convolution x3 of t. Okay, and associative property, this says that convolution between x1 of t and the convolution between x2 of t and x3 of t will lead to the x1 of t convolution x2 of t and the convolution of x3 of t. Okay, so these are very common properties which are there for even in the convolution sum. Okay, next it is shift property. So what it says, if the convolution of x1 of t and x2 of t, that is the convolution between the two continuous time signal, v is z of t, if that is the representation, then the convolution between x1 of t and the shifted signal convolution, that is x2 of t minus tau, this is the t unit shift in the signal, which is lead to the z of t minus tau t. The same amount of delay is there in the output. Okay, so please understand these things. Even in for competitive exams and IES exams and GATE exams, this could be very helpful. Okay, and here next we have the convolution with an impulse. So convolution with an impulse, that is x of t is convolved with the impulse signal, which leads to the same signal only. Okay, very important properties. Okay, then convolution with a shifted impulse, that is x of t convolved with shifted signal of impulse signal, that is t unit is shifted, that will produce the same amount of shift in the input signal. So the convolution between them is this one only. Okay, x of t minus t naught, that is the same amount of shift in the impulse signal. Then convolution with a unit step signal, that is convolved with x of t convolved with a u of t, which leads to minus integral minus infinity to t x of tau d tau. Okay, so again I am saying here the proof for all these properties is like practice for you. So if you find the difficulty, you can always put a comment for me. Okay, then similarly to the convolution sum, there is a steps to calculate or find the convolution integral in the graphical procedure. Okay, so we will see what are the steps we need to follow to get the convolution integral between the two continuous time signal. Okay, step 1 says the whatever the continuous time signals are there, that is represent given continuous time signal x of t and h of t as x of tau and h of tau. Okay, so just names have been changed, t to tau. Okay, then in the step 2 what we need to do, perform the time reversal of h of tau to obtain the h of minus tau. Okay, so time reversal on h of tau is nothing but obtaining the h of minus tau. Then in the step 3, shift h of minus tau by the t units, okay, to obtain h of t minus tau. Okay, so something like we are adding it, adding in the sense we are doing the left shifting on the h of minus tau signal. So this will lead to h of t plus minus tau. Okay, step 4, find the regions of overlap between h of tau and h of t minus tau. Okay, so x of tau and h of t minus tau का overlapping regions हमें find out करने हैं. Then so what we will be doing here, the same thing we will be convolving them. Okay, then in the step 5, sketch the resultant y of t, whatever we are getting. Okay, so these are for the steps to feed, and then we will take one example so that it will be very easy for you to understand. So here is an example. Okay, so here the problem, find the convolution integral of the following signal. Okay, so in examination they could mention it as convolution integral or convolution sum, but we need to identify by the given expression only if it is x of t and h of t in terms of continuous time signal, you can say it is convolution integral. Otherwise, if it is there in x of n and h of n, you can identify it as convolution sum. So accordingly, you need to carry out the steps. Okay. So since the given problem is there in the expression form, we need to plot it. So by the expression, I will plot here in the step 1. So step 1 is plotting of x of t and h of t. Since you can observe the problem here, in the both x of t and h of t is having a u of t terms. Okay, here also we have e power minus 2t. This is an exponential signal continuously decaying because there is a minus sign here, and correspondingly it is multiplied with u of t, that is the unit impulse signal. In h of t also we have shifted unit impulse signal. So we know that unit impulse signal u of t is exist from 0 to infinite. So correspondingly it means that for the negative values of t, the values of signal is 0. So with respect to that, we can solve here. So e power minus 2t, if t is equal to 0, what will happen? E power minus 2, e power minus 0, that is simply 1. From 1 it is keep on decreasing, that is what I am saying, it is the decaying signal, exponential signal, and it goes to infinite. And even since there is a u of t is multiplied, that's why the signal starts at 0 and it goes to infinite. This is the plot of x of t, wherein it starts at 0, it goes towards the infinite, and the amplitude is 1 and it is continuously decaying. I hope you have understood this one. Similarly, this h of t is u of t plus 2. Okay, it is the shifted unit impulse signal, and that too shift is plus here. It says it is the left shifting. So accordingly, so at minus 2, your u of t signal starts and it goes towards the infinite. And what will be the magnitude here? Here also the magnitude is 1. Okay, this also goes to infinite and this also goes to positive infinite. Okay, this is the plot of x of t and given h of t. Next, step 2 is what is representing whatever x of t and h of t are there in terms of x of tau and h of tau. That is simply changing the terms, like names t to tau. So just I have plotted the same thing again here, but now it is x of tau and h of tau. Okay, baki sab same hai. Then in the step 3, obtain h of minus t, that is time reversal on h of t, h of tau. So accordingly, what will happen? Whatever the time intervals are there for the h of tau, they will be negated. So it has started from minus 2 to infinite. Now it will exit from minus infinity to, here it is from minus infinity to 2. This is reversal of h of tau. So this is h of minus tau. Okay, so I will not elaborate much on this because we have understood and we have discussed all these things, the time shifting, the time reversal, and the time scaling part, that is the operations on signals in the unit 1. Okay, then in the step 4, what we need to do? We need to shift this h of minus tau by t units. So as I said, t unit shift is nothing but positive side. So we are adding t unit, it is nothing but we are shifting it towards the left side. So that's why it will be t plus 2. Whatever the values of intervals are there, add t to them. So here it will be t, here it will be plus t, here it will be plus t, something like that. Okay, so it will start at it is again minus to infinity only, because even if you add t units to this, this will be a minus infinity only, and here it ends at 2, so it will be t plus 2. Okay, and I hope you have understood this point. Okay, moving further, in the step 5, now we need to find the regions of overlapping between x of tau and h of t minus tau, that is the shifted signal. Okay, so according to here, we can have the two cases. Okay, the first case, that is case A, is if whatever the signal h of t minus tau, which is ending at t plus 2, this t plus 2, if it is less than 0, okay, if it is less than 0, that is t plus 2 is less than 0. Here you can see in this case. Obviously what I am saying t is less than minus 2, t is minus 2. Okay, I hope you understood this one. Now for this case you can see here in x of tau, and because x of tau starts at 0 and it goes to infinite, but your h of t minus tau, which is starting at minus infinity and it is the maximum signal is t plus 2. So इसके बाद इसका value 0 रहेगा. So you can see there will not be any overlapping between them. So for this case what will happen, your y of t will be 0. Okay, so what I can say here, y of t will be 0 for t less than minus 2. Okay, I hope you understood this one. The condition is, the case says t plus 2 is less than 0. Okay, and for that obviously I am saying like t is less than minus 2, for that y of t will be 0 because there is no overlapping. In the case B, if t plus 2 is greater than or equal to 0, that is this signal h of t minus tau is somewhat on the positive side. Okay, so we don't know what exactly this value is, so we are just saying it is greater than or equal to 0. So it is now, in this case you can see it is greater than or equal to 0. Since this x of t, again I have plotted here with this sketch pen, you can say, and it is going to plus infinite, and here it is from minus infinite it is coming and it is ending at t plus 2. So what are the region of overlapping? Now we can see there is a region of overlapping between them. So these are the regions I have marked. Okay, and from where to where it will be? From 0 to t plus 2. So t plus 2 can be here, t plus 2 can be here, t plus 2 can be here, anywhere, because since it is going to plus infinity and it is starting from minus infinity, all those things. Okay, so we can write for the t plus 2 is greater than or equal to 0, or simply we are saying t is greater than or equal to 2. उस टाइम पे क्या होगा? We have the convolution integral formula saying y of t is equal to minus infinity to infinite x of tau h of t minus tau. Okay, here the limits are changing from 0 to t plus 2. Why it is changing 0 to t plus 2? Because you could see here in graphical representation also, I can explain this one here. X of tau is equal to 0 for tau is less than or equal to 0. Here you can see, okay, your x of tau for the negative values of tau it is 0. Okay, then that's why the point is 0 only. Okay, then h of t minus tau, which will be 0 for t plus 2, that is whatever the tau is there, t plus 2 का value tau से ज़्यादा कम रहेगा, then only we will have. So tau value, if it is greater than t plus 2, for that h of t minus tau will be 0. Okay, so for this reason we will have the overlapping region will be from 0 to t plus 2 only. So that's why the integrals are, even though if it is from minus infinity to infinity, now the region of overlapping will be 0 to t plus 2. Okay, so that is x of tau h of t minus tau. Here I can write like d tau. Okay, so next we can put the expressions here. X of tau we have e power minus 2 tau, u of tau is there, the u of term is having a amplitude 1, so it is simply e power minus 2 tau d tau. Okay, 0 to t plus 2 e power minus 2 tau d tau. So if we integrate it, it will be minus half e power minus 2 tau 0 to t plus 2. Then if I substitute the limits, it will be minus half e power minus 2 t plus 2 minus 1. Okay, because e power 0 is 1. Then I can write it as 1 minus e power minus 2 t plus 2 by 2. So finally what expression I can write? Y of t is equal to 1 minus e power minus 2 t plus 2 by 2 for t is greater than or equal to, sorry, here it should be minus 2, then it is 0, here it should be minus 2, sorry, and it will be 0 for t is less than or equal to less than minus 2. Okay, so I hope you have understood this convolution integral example. So in the next lecture we will solve some more problems for a better understanding on convolution integral.